Hi, and welcome to the first modeling session. So let's get started. Okay, so here we are with our JAX head with the geometry drawn on it. So using a pen tool, I'm just going to create this basic shape, and from there on, just kind of extrude the geometry from this eye outwards. Using bevel, and yeah, now it's just a matter of tweaking the points a little bit. And from this starting point, the geometry is going to go kind of is going to start to develop, starting from the nose. And for now, everything is kind of flat, more or less concentrating on the edge loops for now, and the nose is always the best place to start from to add a little bit of Z depth on the Z axis. And just nudging things a little bit, always being mindful in the perspective view how everything looks. And basically this left side is going to continue into a nose, upper side is going to go into the eyebrow, and the bottom side is going to go into the cheekbone. So basically what you'll see is just this development from the eye outwards. And you can see there the start of an eyebrow is appearing. Now the thing that I always do when I'm modeling like this is, of course, to make sure that everything is centered. These points are centered 0 on the x-axis in the middle, so we can use the symmetry mode very easily. So I'm just kind of adjusting the reference image to suit this a little bit better, and using point info, I'm just going to place these points to have 0 on the x-axis. This will allow us to use symmetry and to use mirror very easy. And from here on, the nose is starting to take a little bit of a shape. And now just extruding these edges to continue the edge loop around the eye. I find this way to be a nice way to start a model. Just create the eye and then kind of radiate from it outwards. These beginning edge loops are then very easy. They kind of naturally continue from the eyebrow to the cheekbone to the nose. And now we see just kind of closing up this edge loop here. And right now I'm doing a little tweak here and a little tweak there, but it's very difficult to see exactly how the shape is going to be in such an early stage. You just have an idea in your head, and later on, as the shape develops, you can always do a little bit more tweaking. And now this is an important point in the modeling process, because now we're kind of starting to define the curvature of the head. Of course, it's in these early stages, it's not so easy to approximate this. So yeah, never mind if later on discover that it's a bit too steep, you can always correct the curvature. Just nudge some points here and there. But that being said, you should be mindful, trying to keep the vision of how you want it to look. Try to imagine the whole form. And with the nose, it's really going to start to take shape. So right now, just creating the bridge of the nose and closing things up to get the nostril. Now, since we drawn this topology in Photoshop, this made things a bit easier for us. Now we just have to be mindful of the 3D nature of the topology, making sure that that everything is where it should be in the z-axis as well. So we can see already the head is starting to take shape, and now we're kind of basically just continuing this edge loop around the eye. And now we can really see how the eyebrow is coming along. I wanted to make the eyebrow a bit stronger to add to the face's character. And now I'll just use the mirror to get a quick idea of what we're getting so far. Yeah, starting to take shape. Now, yeah, this may not be the best way to do things. Usually you want to have also kind of a side view, not just a front view of the model that you're making. But in Jack's case, his head is pretty basic, round, kind of skullish shape. So it's not going to be such a big problem. But still you want to have like a reference image there. I usually work on two screens. On one screen I have some reference image, just to keep me on track, to help me keep the vision of how I want the shape to look at the end. And in the other screen I keep my workspace. So yeah, this is the case with Jack's head as well. So I think, yeah, although we have just a front view, will be okay. And now as I'm extending this topology, here we have a situation with a 5-point polygon over there. But yeah, when you're modeling, you want to avoid polygons that have more than 4 vertices. You can have 3-point polygons, but mainly you just want to have 4-point polygons, and definitely want to avoid 5-point polygons. But as you're creating things, like in this case, I'm just gonna leave this 5-point polygon right there. And as we continue to create the topology, the solution to this 5-point polygon will present itself, to see the best way the edge loops are going to go. Right now I'm not 100% with the mouth situation, but as the topology develops, natural solution to this will happen. So at this stage I'm just rounding up the head, defining the head's shape, and using point info, I'll always put these middle points, I mean the end points in our case right now, to be on the 0 value on X axis. This will allow us to do quickly and nicely mirror. And every once in a while I'll just mirror things to see how the shape looks because with just one half it's sometimes difficult to get the idea, is the head too round, too big, too small, too flat. But once you mirror, you really get an idea of where your model is headed. So just to make things a lot easier, it's always best to have those points at exactly 0 on the x axis. So we see here that the head is starting to take shape. Just kind of looking at it in the perspective view. Once you turn it into sap patches, you want to see what happens with the topology. Do you have any pinching? Do you have any unusual behavior with your polygons? And of course, in Lightwave, by default, 5-point polygons are not going to be sap patched. And just going to remove this show grid in the perspective view to get a better idea of where we're at. The next thing I'm going to work on is this mouth area. Actually, this is going to be the upper part of the mouth. So I'm already preparing geometry to follow the curvature of the mouth that I want to have. I want to have the mouth going a little bit upwards, which is kind of characteristic for Jack. And of course, being mindful of the reference image that we have. Now we're kind of starting to venture off from the topology that we had drawn in the Photoshop, because once you get started, the edge flow kind of continues. You want to have natural, nice flowing edge flows. So once you get at the starting geometry down, it's much easier to take it from there. So right now, building the mouth area. And one thing about Jack is that he has a really big mouth. Looking at things from different viewports gives you a better idea of where everything is and how smooth those polygons are. So just kind of tweaking things. This is where I want the mouth to end. So I'm just welding these things up, welding those points. We start with a really low polygon cage, really low poly, and then as we create the geometry, the need for additional edge loops appears. Of course, we want to have the poly count as low as we can without sacrificing any details that we want to have, because it's much easier to edit, much easier to animate or to put in pose. Objects that have a lower poly count. So when we weld up certain points in a modeler, we're left with 2-point polygons that we need to delete. When we go into sap patch, it's going to say that it can only sap patch 3 or 4-point polygons. So that's what's happening right now. I just welded up those polygons, and I was left with 2-point polygons. So you just need to select those and delete them. They're kind of leftovers from the welding process. No big deal. But now I'm just kind of thinking about this mouth topology that we have here, that 5-point polygon. And yeah, still not time to take care of that. But I want to continue working on the shape of the head, and now we're really starting to define the head. And once you lay down this basic geometry, you can just go on and tweak it in different viewports, just seeing how it feels. Now, when we start creating the head, it's not going to have that perfect shape, because again, it's very difficult to get that shape in the early stages. But as we add more and more polygons to it, as the head becomes more and more defined, it becomes that much easier to see where the head is too flat or too round. And yeah, we can remove these polygons as we go along. Some edge loops will just be too much, and in some places won't be enough. So it's just kind of a process that defines itself as we make progress on our model. So the more I get into it, the more I'm looking at the model from different sides, thinking about how to solve different edge loop problems. So right now we have this hole that we need to fill up, these polygons that we need to connect. And that is really one of the important challenges of modeling, is just to have these intelligent edge loop solutions that will be easy to manipulate, that will require less polygons and more elegant edge loops. So I'm just basically closing up this shape, and we can see right now it has still a few bugs that need to be fixed, and as we go along, again, the solution to those problems will present itself. Right now, this is nothing is pre-planned here. I'm just you're just watching me as I work on this model, and as I try to solve these modeling problems as they occur. And it's just about adding that extra geometry at the right places, so we don't get tangled up in our own mesh. And yeah, now we already see that hole is closed up nicely. And yeah, now we can just open up this mouth and see what we have. And yeah, time to mirror things up to see what we have. So again, putting points at 0 value on x-axis and mirroring. And now we're starting to see, we see some pinching there, we see some pinching here, and those are the unique problems that we have with the subhatching. And yeah, with this polygon, we see it kind of looks like it's facing the wrong direction, but when we subpatch, we see it's actually not. And here we have our, again, 2-point polygons that were created when we were welding things up. So yeah, we can just delete those and move on. The next thing I want to tackle is this area here around the mouth. I'm not happy how those edges are going. So yeah, no way through it but to do it. I'm just kind of closing that up to lose that awkward edge flow and to get things looking a little better. Right now we have also that 5-point polygon, but that's going to be solved once we mirror the object. Now, natural thing is to close up the upper part to kind of get the whole head. And again, we're faced with the same problem that we had down there, which is really a problem that you always get when you're making heads, round shapes, and that is to close them up, to solve the edge flow going horizontally and vertically, or making the head. And now that we already have most of the head created, we can really tweak the form to get it to be a bit more rounder if we accidentally made it too flat or too boxy. Again, those 2-point polygons which need to be deleted. And yeah, we see a little bit of pinching there. And probably have to add a bit more polygons here and there. And a great way to do it is just by activating Add Edges, which allows us to quickly and elegantly add edges. And as we add new edge loops, we get new situations that need to be addressed. But slowly, with each addition, we're starting to get where we want to be. And now we can see the head is really starting to take shape. But of course, you have to be mindful to adjust the head according to the new topology that you're adding. And you always want to be to have the topology, basically relaxed, which means that polygons are basically the same size. You don't want to have like really tightly grouped edge loops unless you're trying to create a harder edge. But in case of a round shape object like Jack's head, you really want to have things evenly distributed. And this is basically what I'm doing right now. And yeah, looking at the object in perspective view to see if everything is round and where we want it to be. Now our reference image has a bit more elongated nose, but we are going to push it up out a little bit, not that much. Now we want to have our look that we have in our vision, how Jack is going to look. Not necessarily, exactly mimicking our reference images. So just working a little bit on the nose to get rid of some of that flatness. Okay. Now we see it's this 5-point junctures that can cause some pinching when you turn into sub-edges. And yeah, it's very difficult to avoid those. But you want to try to minimize them. Now tackling this 5-point polygon at last. Now we have a 3-point polygon right now, but once we mirror it, we can just weld it up and it turns into a 4-point polygon. So it's a very elegant solution of getting rid of those 3-point polygons in the middle of your object. This seems like a good place to save our work. And one thing that we also want to do is save our backdrop. So I'll just go into save all backdrops, and we can save our backdrop image. So next time when we load our object, we can also load our backdrop. And this is it for the first session, and in the next session we're going to continue modeling Jack.